Hello, English learners. Welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
Today we're bringing you part 2 of another great lesson that we had.
Yes, new guy in town.
The new guy in town.
Part 2.
Part 2. Kind of a creepy story.
Yes.
Yeah, and this one is also a little bit strange, a little bit weird.
Yeah, unusual outcome, unusual ending.
But it has to do a lot with invitations.
That's right. So an invitation is when you ask somebody to do something with you.
Right. A dinner invitation.
So we're going to be talking about invitations and inviting people to do things.
Okay.
Well, with that, let's listen to the dialogue for the first time.
Oh, Armand, thank you for such a thoughtful invitation. It's really very nice of you to invite us over for dinner. Don't you think so, Ellen?
Oh, yes, of course. We'd love to come over. Can I bring anything?
No, don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. I'll see you tonight. Come with an appetite. I know I will.
I don't want to go over to his place for dinner. He gives me the creeps. Why on earth did you accept?
Oh, come on, Ellen. It'll be nice to get to know him. Besides, he's new to the neighborhood, and it would be rude to decline his invitation.
I guess so. You always rope me into things like this.
Ladies, thank you for coming. You look delicious. I mean beautiful. Please, come in.
Oh, Armand, you are too kind.
How did I get myself into this?
Wow, I'm really anxious to see what happens in this dinner party.
Yeah, I guess we'll have to stay tuned and find out.
For part 3.
Yeah.
All right, well, we have some really great vocabulary, so I guess we can start with language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
All right, on language takeaway today, we have 3 great words. Erica, why don't you start us off with the first one?
The first word is thoughtful.
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 So when you're thoughtful, you're kind, right?
You're kind. You're considerate
Yes,
to other people.
You think about what the other person would like.
Right.
And you do that thing.
It's so thoughtful of you.
Yeah.
Our second phrase, give me the creeps.
Give me the creeps.
Give me the creeps.
This is kind of a funny phrase, but I think if we listen to some examples, we'll understand the meaning.
Example 1. Horror movies give me the creeps. Example 2. Stop it! You're giving me the creeps. Example 3.
I saw this really scary clown. It gave me the creeps.
So I can see this one means to make me feel uncomfortable.
Right, it makes me feel
Like strange.
scared.
Yeah, scared.
Also,
Yeah.
gives me the creeps. Mm-hmm. And our last phrase for language takeaway, rope me into.
Rope me into something.
Rope me into something. Mm-hmm. So if you rope me into something, it's...
It's like you convince me to do something that I don't really want to do.
Right, so I roped you into lending me your car.
Yes. That was a bad idea.
That was a bad idea.
And you roped me into going out for beers after work.
Yeah, that was a great idea. All right, so rope me into,
Yeah.
convince.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so I guess we could listen to our dialogue again.
This time a little bit slower, and you'll be able to understand the language a little bit more clearly.
Oh, Armand, thank you for such a thoughtful invitation. It's really very nice of you to invite us over for dinner. Don't you think so, Ellen?
Oh, yes, of course. We'd love to come over. Can I bring anything?
No, don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. I'll see you tonight. Come with an appetite. I know I will.
I don't want to go over to his place for dinner. He gives me the creeps. Why on earth did you accept?
Oh, come on, Ellen. It would be nice to get to know him. Besides, he's new to the neighborhood, and it would be rude to decline his invitation.
I guess so. You always wrote me into things like this.
Ladies, thank you for coming. You look delicious. I mean, beautiful. Please come in. Come in.
Oh, Armand, you are too kind.
How did I get myself into this?
Well, I guess that's a lot more clear, and with that, we can start putting it together today.
Putting it together.
Today we've got 3 words and phrases that we want to show you how you can put together and use differently. The first one is appetite.
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 So appetite is like a strong desire for food, right?
Right, an appetite.
We've got some examples that show you how to use this phrase. Let's listen.
Example 1.
Dinner smells so good. It's giving me an appetite.
Example 2. You're sure eating a lot. You must have a big appetite. Example 3.
I'm getting sick. I have a fever and I've lost my appetite.
Okay, so we saw some great examples of appetite. You can lose your appetite.
That's right.
You have a big appetite, a small appetite.
A healthy appetite.
Right. So it just means
A desire for food.
desire
a hunger
for
for food. Yeah.
Okay. Great. What's our second phrase for today?
Get to know someone.
Get to know.
Get to know.
So when you get to know someone is you talk to them and you find out what they do.
Yeah, you get more familiar with them.
More familiar, right? For example, we can say, I got to know her in Spanish class and she's a really nice person.
Yeah, or you can say Armand, Ellen, and Doris got to know each other at a dinner party.
Right. Or you can say, if you get to know me, you'll see that I'm not a bad guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, get to know.
And our third phrase is, why on earth?
Why on earth?
Why on earth?
Why on earth? This is there's like a saying,
Yeah.
expression.
You can use it in a lot of different ways. So we've got some examples for you. Let's listen.
Example 1. Where on earth is my phone? Example 2.
How on earth did you learn English in 1 month?
Example 3.
What on earth is it?
So when you ask a question with on earth, so why on earth, how on earth, what on earth, it's like you're showing a lot of surprise.
Okay, great stuff. So let's just listen to our dialogue a third time.
Oh, Armand, thank you for such a thoughtful invitation. It's really very nice of you to invite us over for dinner. Don't you think so, Ellen?
Oh, yes, of course. We'd love to come over. Can I bring anything?
No, don't worry about it. I'll take care of everything. I'll see you tonight. Come with an appetite. I know I will.
I don't want to go over to his place for dinner. He gives me the creeps. Why on earth did you accept?
Oh, come on, Ellen. It'll be nice to get to know him. Besides, he's new to the neighborhood, and it would be rude to decline his invitation.
I guess so. You always wrote me into things like this.
Ladies, thank you for coming. You look delicious. I mean, beautiful. Please come in.
Oh, Armand, you are too kind.
How did I get myself into this?
We want to know what you think happens next.
Yes, what happens in this dialogue next?
So we want you to send us your idea of what happens next, and we're going to choose the best one.
That's right. Marco and I will choose the best continuation of the story, and we'll use that in part 3 of The New Guy in Town.
That's right. So you can give it any direction you want.
That's right.
And of course, we'll publish the name of the author with the lesson.
Yes.
I'm really anxious to see what ideas come up and how we can end this dialogue.
I know we've got a lot of really creative users out there, so I'm really looking forward to this.
That's right. That's right.
And now it's time to listen to the useful story. Trust me, it's really helpful. Listen to the whole story. You'll enjoy every second and learn a lot of real English. Last Friday evening, I came home after a long day at work. I had just kicked off my shoes and was about to enjoy a quiet night when I saw a card in my mailbox. It was a dinner invitation, handwritten, elegant, and surprisingly formal. You're kindly invited to dinner in my home, 7 p.m., Friday. Let's get to know each other. Armand. I was puzzled. Armand? I didn't know anyone named Armand. But I suddenly remembered the new guy who had moved into the house at the end of our street. Tall, pale, and quiet with an old-fashioned style. He had waved at me once, but never said much. Receiving an invitation from a stranger is not very common in my culture, especially a handwritten one. Usually, people invite friends through text or social media. So this felt unusual, but it was also thoughtful. Yes, thoughtful is the perfect word here. A thoughtful person is someone who considers the feelings or needs of others. And honestly, it was kind of him to reach out like that. Still, I wasn't sure. Part of me thought, why on earth would he invite me? That phrase, why on earth, is a great way to show surprise or confusion in English. I didn't know him, and this whole situation felt strange. But another part of me said, don't be rude. He's just trying to be friendly. So I talked to my neighbor Ellen, and we decided to go together. I thought it would be safer, or at least less awkward, to go in pairs. We both felt weird about it, but Ellen said, it'll be good to get to know him. That phrase, get to know someone, is an important one in English. It means to spend time with someone to understand them better. You don't just meet them once. You talk, you ask questions, you see how they behave. That's how you really get to know a person. So we agreed. We were going. Dinner with Armand, a stranger, at his house, Friday night. And yes, we were both nervous. I remember standing in front of Armand's house that evening, holding a small box of chocolates as a gift. It's quite common in many cultures, including mine, to bring something when you're invited to someone's home, even if they say don't bring anything. It shows appreciation and good manners. The house looked old but clean. Dim lights glowed through the curtains, and there was soft classical music playing inside. Ellen whispered to me, "This gives me the creeps." I couldn't help but agree. That's a useful phrase, gives me the creeps. It means something or someone makes you feel uncomfortable, uneasy, or a little scared. Not terrified, just strange. Weird vibes. Still, we rang the doorbell. Armand opened the door with a smile that looked too perfect, like something from a movie. He said, "Ladies, thank you for coming. Please come in. Make yourselves at home." That phrase, make yourself at home, is very common and polite. It means the host wants you to feel relaxed, like you're in your own home. Even if you're a guest, they don't want you to feel stiff or awkward. The living room was spotless, but there was something odd about it. The furniture looked like it belonged in a castle, not a small neighborhood house. And the paintings? Well, they were dark. Old portraits of serious-looking people with cold eyes. I try not to stare, but it felt like they were watching us. We sat down, and Armand offered us a drink. Sparkling water, no alcohol. Then he brought out a tray with tiny snacks, cheese, olives, and something I couldn't identify. "Do you like liver pate?" he asked. Ellen hesitated and said, "Sure, It looks interesting. That's another helpful word. Hesitate. It means to pause before doing or saying something because you're unsure or nervous. In English conversations, people hesitate a lot when they're trying to be polite but also honest. For example, well, I guess I could try it, or I'm not sure I've had that before. As we ate the appetizers, I noticed Armand barely touched anything. He kept watching us, not in a creepy way, exactly, but too attentively. He asked questions like, "Do you often attend neighborhood gatherings?" Or, "Do you believe people can truly change?" His voice was soft, polite, and controlled. But the questions? They were deep. I found myself speaking carefully, choosing my words with more thought than usual. Ellen stayed quiet most of the time, just nodding and smiling politely. Then came the moment we were all waiting for, dinner. Armand stood up and said, "Dinner is served. Please follow me to the dining room." My stomach turned a little. I didn't know why. Maybe it was just nerves. Or maybe I'd lost my appetite. That's another useful phrase, lose your appetite. It means you no longer feel hungry, often because of stress or discomfort. Still, we stood up, smiled, and followed him into the next room. What else could we do? We had accepted the invitation. There was no turning back now. The dining room looked like something out of a mystery novel. The table was long, covered with a white cloth and decorated with silver candle holders. The candles flickered gently, casting soft shadows on the walls. The chairs were tall and heavy, with carved wooden arms, like they belonged in an old castle. It felt dramatic, even theatrical. Ellen and I exchanged quick glances. We both felt it, that strange tension in the air. But we smiled and sat down. Armand brought in the main dish himself. "Roast lamb," he said, placing the steaming tray in the center, "with a special family recipe." Now, here's an important cultural note. In many English-speaking countries, dinner parties are informal, and guests often help serve or even bring a dish. But this was different. Armand was treating the evening like a formal event, and we were clearly the guests. He served the food, poured the drinks, and even waited for us to start before he touched his plate. He looked at us and said, "Bon appetit." That a borrowed phrase from French, but it's often used in English too, especially when you want to sound a little fancy or polite. It simply means enjoy your meal. I cut into the lamb slowly and took a bite. It was surprisingly good, rich, tender, and full of flavor. Ellen gave me a slight nod. It was clear she was also surprised. I said, "You're a great cook, Armand." He smiled and replied, "Thank you. I enjoy cooking for good company." That's another great phrase, good company. In English, we say someone is good company when they are pleasant to be around, friendly, or enjoyable to talk to. It's a compliment. But as the dinner went on, Armand's questions grew even stranger. He asked, "Do you ever wonder what people hide behind polite smiles? And isn't it fascinating how people can pretend to be normal?" Ellen shifted in her seat. I tried to keep the mood light, saying, "Well, sometimes people just try to be nice. That's what makes society work, right?" But inside, I was starting to feel a little uneasy again. Then he looked directly at me and said, "I find that people reveal their true selves in moments of discomfort." That sentence stayed in my head. Moments of discomfort. What did he mean by that? There's a common expression in English, to read between the lines. It means to understand the hidden meaning behind someone's words. And I was definitely trying to read between the lines now. We continued eating, though the conversation slowed down. Ellen barely spoke. I tried to fill the silence with polite comments about the food and the decor. But the atmosphere felt heavier with every minute. And that's when Armand said something that made me stop chewing. You know, I moved here to start over, to leave the past behind, to become someone else. The room went quiet. Ellen looked at me with wide eyes. I put my fork down. My hands were suddenly cold. What we walked into? The silence in the room stretched longer than it should have. You know, when everything gets so quiet that you start hearing your own breathing, that's what it felt like. The candles crackled softly, and I could hear the ticking of a clock somewhere nearby. I gave a nervous laugh. Not because anything was funny, but because sometimes when things get too tense, people laugh just to break the awkwardness. In English, we call that a nervous laugh. It's not real laughter. It's more like a release of pressure when you don't know what else to do. And believe me, I didn't know what to do at that moment. Armand smiled gently and said, "Forgive me. I didn't mean to make you uncomfortable. I just believe in honesty. Don't you? That's another useful expression. Make someone uncomfortable. It means to cause someone to feel awkward or uneasy, often because of strange behavior, personal questions, or an unusual situation. Armand was definitely doing that, not by being rude, but by being intense. I nodded and replied, "Sure, honesty is important. But sometimes people need time to open up." That's a useful phrase too. Open up. In English, to open up means to start sharing your thoughts, feelings, or personal stories with someone else. It's something that takes trust and comfort. He looked at me, then at Ellen, and said, "It's just that I've had experiences that changed me deeply. I want to connect with people who can understand that." There was connect with people. That's an expression we often use when we want to feel a real emotional bond with someone. In conversations, it's common to say things like, "I really connected with him," or "we didn't connect at all." But Ellen wasn't connecting. She was gripping the edge of her chair, her shoulders stiff. She whispered, "It's getting late." I could see she was uncomfortable, and honestly, so was I. But I also didn't want to seem rude. That's a cultural tension that English learners should understand. Sometimes people feel forced to stay polite even when they're uncomfortable. In many English-speaking cultures, saying no directly or leaving too early can feel impolite, especially when someone has gone out of their way to host you. So instead of saying we wanted to leave, I said, "This has been lovely. We didn't expect such a full dinner. You must have spent a lot of time preparing." Armand smiled. "I enjoy hosting. In fact, I rarely have guests. You're my first." That stopped me. Is first guests? After weeks in the neighborhood, there's a phrase in English, red flag. It means a warning sign, something that tells you something might be wrong. And this was a red flag for me. Still, I tried to stay calm. I smiled, nodded, and reached for my glass. But as I lifted it, I noticed something under the table, a small door in the floor like a trapdoor, partly hidden by a rug. A chill ran down my spine. Why would someone have a hidden door in the dining room? I didn't say anything, but I saw Ellen staring at it too. Her eyes were wide. She mouthed, "Let's go." And for the first time all evening, I felt real fear. Not just discomfort, not just awkwardness, real fear. I placed my glass gently back on the table, trying not to make sound. My mouth was dry, and my heartbeat had started pounding in my ears. I gave Ellen a quick glance and then turned back to Armand, who was now slicing a piece of lamb with perfect precision, as if nothing was out of the ordinary. He looked up and said, "You've hardly touched your food. Do you not like it?" His tone was calm, polite even, but there was something about the way he watched us that made my skin crawl. That's another useful phrase, makes my skin crawl. It's used when something really creeps you out or makes you feel sick or nervous. For example, "That sound makes my skin crawl," or "The way he looks at me makes my skin crawl." I forced a smile and replied, No, no, it's delicious. I just don't have a big appetite tonight. That was partly true. My appetite or desire for food had completely vanished. Stress can do that. And this was definitely stressful. Armand nodded and poured more sparkling water into our glasses. That's okay. We all have off days. But I do hope you're not planning to leave so soon. That line, I hope you're not planning to leave so soon, might sound polite in a normal situation, but coming from him, it sounded more like a warning than a question. Ellen and I looked at each other again. We didn't speak, but we didn't need to. When people know each other well, they can communicate without words. That's called reading someone's expression or sharing a look. I stood up slowly and said, Actually, I just remembered I have something early tomorrow. A family thing. We should probably head out. Ellen followed my lead. That's an expression meaning she did what I was doing or copied my behavior. And stood up too. Yes, thank you so much for the dinner. It was really kind of you. Kind. Thoughtful. Those are the words we were trying to use. The words polite people use to exit a situation gracefully. But inside, both of us were tense. Extremely tense. Armand stood as well and stepped in front of the door just for a second. He smiled again. Of course. It was truly a pleasure. Please, let me walk you out. I didn't know whether to feel relieved or more worried, but we followed him to the hallway. As we passed through the living room, I noticed the portraits again. Their eyes seemed even colder now, like they knew something we didn't. At the door, Armand handed each of us a small envelope. Just a little token of thanks, he said. Please, open them later. We said our final goodbyes, and this time, they felt more like an escape than a farewell. The moment we stepped outside, the cool night air hit us. It felt like we had just left another world. We didn't speak until we were halfway down the street. Then Ellen whispered, Did you see that trapdoor? I nodded. Yeah, I don't know what's down there, but I'm glad we didn't find out. And in that moment, I realized something about invitations. Not all of them are meant to be accepted. That night, I barely slept. I kept thinking about everything. The candlelit room, the formal dinner, Armand's strange questions, and of course, the trapdoor. My mind was racing, full of what-ifs and maybes. In English, when you keep replaying something in your head over and over again, we call that overthinking. And I was definitely overthinking everything. The next morning, the little envelope Armand had given me was still sitting on my kitchen counter. I had almost forgotten about it. For a moment, I considered throwing it away without opening it. But curiosity got the better of me. That's a common English phrase. Curiosity got the better of me. It means even though you tried to resist, you gave in because you really wanted to know something. So I opened it. Inside was a thank you card. On the front, it said, "To new friends." And inside was blank, completely empty. No message, no signature, nothing. Now, if that isn't strange, I don't know what is. Why give someone a thank you card and not write anything inside? I turned the card over, checked the envelope again. Nothing. There's a phrase in English, something doesn't add up. It's often used when things don't make sense or when the pieces of a story don't fit together. And with Armand, things definitely didn't add up. I decided to walk over to Ellen's place to see if she had opened hers. She answered the door looking like she hadn't slept either. I said, "Did you read the card?" She nodded. "Yeah, totally blank. I don't get it." We sat down and talked for a while, trying to figure out. Maybe it was just his way of being different. Or maybe it was part of some social test. Or maybe it meant nothing at all. But somehow, the silence of that card felt louder than any words. That's a powerful thing in English. Silence speaks volumes. It means sometimes saying nothing at all can say everything. And that empty card, it was speaking volumes. Later that day, we both agreed we should keep our distance from Armand. Nothing serious, just being cautious. In English, people often say, better safe than sorry. It means it's smarter to be careful now than to regret it later. We didn't want to start rumors or accuse anyone, but we also didn't want to pretend like nothing happened. Sometimes, even a polite invitation can carry hidden meaning or unexpected consequences. That's when I realized how many things that dinner had taught me. Not just about being careful with strangers, but about language, culture, and how people behave when they feel uncomfortable. And honestly, it made me more aware of the power of small things. An invitation, a phrase, even a glance. Especially when someone new moves into the neighborhood. In the days that followed, things around the neighborhood went back to normal, or at least they appeared to. People walked their dogs, watered their gardens, chatted about the weather. But Ellen and I noticed something. No one else seemed to talk about Armand. It was like he didn't exist. We had expected some buzz, something like, oh, the new neighbor invited us over, or did you meet the guy at number 17? But there was nothing, just silence. That's when another important English expression came to mind, the calm before the storm. It means things may look peaceful or normal now, but something big and maybe unpleasant is about to happen. A few days later, Ellen called me. Her voice was low. You won't believe this, she said. There's a moving truck in front of Armand's house. I rushed over, and sure enough, there was a large moving van, doors open, boxes stacked. But there was no sign of Armand. No one outside. No people loading furniture. Just a truck parked and still. We waited for over an hour, watching from Ellen's porch, but no one came out of the house. No one went in, and by late afternoon, the truck drove away, empty. Now, here's a word every English learner should know. Mystery. It means something we don't understand, something unexplained. And that's exactly what this was. A full-on mystery. That night, we finally told a couple of trusted neighbors about our experience. The dinner, the strange behavior, the empty thank you cards. Their reactions were a mix of disbelief and curiosity. Some thought we were exaggerating. Others said they had seen Armand only once or twice, always late at night, always alone. There's a good idiom for this. Something felt off. In English, when you say that, it means something doesn't feel right, even if you can't explain it. I kept thinking about that dinner table, the old paintings, the trapdoor. What was underneath it? Why would someone live in a neighborhood, invite strangers for one evening, and then vanish? Sometimes the biggest questions come from the smallest moments. A word, a look, a pause. And in English, just like in life, learning to pay attention to these details can make all the difference. By the weekend, Armand's house was empty. The curtains were gone. The lights were off. There was a for sale sign in the yard. He had come and gone like a ghost. And we were left with more questions than answers. A few weeks later, things in the neighborhood settled into routine again. The house Armand had lived and stayed empty for a while. A few people came to look at it, couples, families, even a man with a small dog, but none of them stayed. For sale signs came and went. No one seemed interested for long. But the story of that strange dinner never left me. It became something Ellen and I talked about now, and then, usually over coffee. We would ask the same questions. Who was he? Why did he invite us and no one else? What was behind that trapdoor? There's a phrase in English, a story you carry with you. It means a memory that stays in your mind, one that teaches you something or changes how you see the world. For me, Armand's dinner party became one of those stories. It reminded me how important language is, not just words, but tone, silence, questions, and how we respond under pressure. That evening taught me more than any classroom lesson could. I remembered all the phrases we used or heard that night. Thoughtful, gives me the creeps, get to know someone, why on earth, make yourself at home, lose your appetite, connect with someone, better safe than sorry, and something doesn't add up. These aren't just words, they're tools. Tools for understanding people, culture, and situations, especially the unexpected ones. I also learned something about human behavior. Sometimes we accept invitations because we want to be polite. Sometimes we stay in uncomfortable situations because we don't want to seem rude. But learning English also means learning when and how to use language to protect yourself, politely but clearly. Phrases like, I really should get going, or I have an early morning tomorrow, or even this has been lovely, but I think it's time for us to leave. These are all useful ways to excuse yourself without causing offense. English offers many polite ways to exit a conversation or a situation when needed. And perhaps the most valuable lesson was this. Not all strange experiences are bad. Some of them make you grow. They test your instincts, your ability to speak clearly, and your courage to trust your gut. So yes, I still wonder who Armand really was. But more than that, I'm thankful for the experience because it gave me a story, a real one, and stories are powerful teachers. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Showing concern for the needs and feelings of other people. Thoughtful. A physical desire of food. Appetite. Make someone to feel scared and uncomfortable. Give the creeps. Start to know, become familiar with someone. Get to know. Expression to emphasize surprise or frustration. On earth. Say you will not or cannot do something. Decline. Rope into. Polite way to ask guests to make themselves comfortable. Make yourself at home. Being a friendly and caring host to the guests. Hospitable. Potluck. A party to celebrate moving into a new house. Housewarming. Let's try that faster. Say you will not or cannot do something. Decline. Being a friendly and caring host to the guests. Hospitable. Polite way to ask guests to make themselves comfortable. Make yourself at home. A physical desire of food. Appetite. A party to celebrate moving into a new house. Housewarming. Start to know, become familiar with someone. Get to know. Showing concern for the needs and feelings of other people. Thoughtful. Make someone to feel scared and uncomfortable. Give the creeps. Potluck. Expression to emphasize surprise or frustration. On earth. Rope into. Now say the word and hear it in a sentence. Thoughtful. Thanks for the Christmas gift. It's exactly what I want. You're so thoughtful. This is very thoughtful of you to help me out. Thoughtful. Thank you for being so thoughtful. Appetite. Dinner smells so good. It's giving me an appetite. Appetite. You're sure eating a lot. You must have a big appetite. Appetite. I'm getting sick. I have a fever and I've lost my appetite. Give the creeps. Horror movies give me the creeps. Give the creeps. Stop showing these images to me. They are giving me the creep. Give the creeps. I saw this really scary clown. It gave me the creep. Where on earth is my phone? How on earth did you learn English in 1 month? What on earth is it? Decline. It's not polite to decline Molly and Jim's dinner invitation. Decline. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to decline the invitation to your party. I'm busy that day. Decline. Everyone is going to attend the wedding. No one declined our invitation. Last night, Pete roped me into going for a drink after work. Renee is always roping me into doing her work for her. You're not going to rope me into spending the whole day shopping? Get to know. Karen and Victor got to know each other in university. Get to know. After you get to know him, Alan is a really nice guy. Get to know. I'm spending some time getting to know my team.